Hi guys, what I want to talk about today is 3 tips that you can use to make a really good first impression or really good impression with a producer or an engineer if you get work experience at a recording studio. So these tips are just hopefully kind of push you in the right direction. They're not kind of, they're not set in stone and not be all and end all. And if you have any comments, if you have any kind of feedback, I'd love to hear from you and kind of start a debate going about this. So tip number 1, if you're on time, you're late. What I mean by this is for any session that I work on, I'm always at least an hour in the studio before the band arrive. And what I'm doing in this time is kind of getting the studio ready, making sure like the tea and coffee's kind of filled up. If I need to go out and get milk, I can do that. And then if I need to do any quick cleaning or tidying, I can kind of blitz the studio really quickly and just make sure that everything's ready for the session. And that's the reason why I kind of saying like if you're going to be an assistant, try and kind of make a good impression. So if I'm saying, okay, the session starts at 10 and you arrive at 9:30 and I'm there, brilliant. If I find a person waiting outside the studio to be let in, that's also a great impression because it shows that you're eager to work. You're kind of taking the initiative a little bit and it'll make you actually stand out and actually kind of think, okay, there's something about this person. It might be actually, you might be able to develop a good relationship. And it's basically, it's a really good first impression. Tip number 2, for work experience placements and as an assistant starting out with maybe a new producer and engineer, don't expect to be kind of running the session yourself. So what you're kind of looking at is you're more there to help out and assist. So you might be setting microphones up, you might be connecting leads to wall boxes and kind of, plugging bits and pieces in. Over the course of the work experience placement or over the course of your assisting, you might be able to develop a really good relationship to the point where they trust you to actually work the computers. But don't expect that on the first day, and especially like they're not going to expect that from you either. So basically just go in with a really positive attitude and just kind of try and be as much of a help as possible. One thing that I'd always recommend for people going for the studio and going in to help out is just keep an eye on the studio, keep an eye on how tidy everything is. If bands start leaving drinks around or there's rappers about, just keep yourself busy, pick them up, put them in the bin. If anyone wants tea and coffee, always offer try and make that and try and actually get it done so that you're anticipating them needing that and you're one step ahead. If you can do that, you're on to a winner. And make sure you learn to make good tea or coffee. If you make bad teas, bad cups of teas, like people don't get asked back. It's really, really bad. So that's 2, be proactive. It might be boring, just keep yourself busy and you won't fall asleep in the corner of the room because that does happen. Tip number 3, or 2, 3.5, 4. You will learn more on a work experience placement or as an assistant working for an established producer than you will in a classroom. And the reason for that is you're working at a fast-paced environment, you're working on a commercial level, and you'll see how people work. You'll see how people kind of make decisions. So you can watch and you will learn loads. You will learn so much more. I've learned so much more working with other producers and seeing their workflows and their techniques than I ever have from sort of sitting down reading a book. Because you see it in action, you actually see it working as well. You think, oh, I could use that. So keep an eye on it, try and watch as much as you can. And the other thing is when you're watching, don't try and start asking questions to the producer or the engineer while the session's going on. Try and figure out a time when it's quiet. So the band might break for lunch or they might, pop out, or the band might leave and there might be a bit of editing to do. Try and figure out a moment and work out with the producer or the engineer that you're working with when the best time to ask these questions are. Generally, I will always answer questions. I always say, look, if we can kind of work something out, or if we can figure out a time when it's good for you to ask these questions, I'm more than happy to help out. So turn up, be proactive. Don't expect to be doing loads of stuff to begin with. It's a kind of gradual process. Keep things clean and tidy and just kind of watch and learn. And you'll be surprised how much you pick up. A sign of a really good assistant is somebody who doesn't actually you don't really notice that they're there, but you notice them when they're not. So you notice that like the drinks have always been filled up, the studio's immaculate, but when they're not there again, it just shows you the difference. So if you can keep these kind of things, keep really good attitude, say yes to everything, then you'll be on to a winner. And it's a really good start. It's a really, really good starting point. I really, really wish you luck. All right. Thanks very much for watching. If you do have any questions, by all means, leave me a comment or drop me a message. I'll do my best to get back to you. And I'm going to be posting up quite a few more videos over the course of the next few weeks and months and years, hopefully. Please subscribe and hopefully see you all soon. Cheers.